This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to what is another video. It's about time to continue our review of the National Hunt season. We're halfway through the second weekend in February 2024. It's actually the day of the Boyne Hurdle today in Ireland. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to go back a week and take a look at goings on involving some of our horses at last weekend, which, of course, the figurehead of which was the Dublin Racing Festival. But before we do that, may I just say thank you very much for supporting the video and the channel. It's all very much appreciated. And I will point you in the direction of repcicracing2020.great/site.net. I'm sure there's plenty of older National Hunt horses there, novice hurdlers from 2020 who are in open company now. There's plenty of horses on that site for people to check out. Right, what we're going to do is we're just going to take a look at 3 races from the weekend. And then I will give my views on those 3 races, as well as a couple of other races that took place at the weekend involving some of our identified horses. But for now, I'm going to cut this section short, and we're going to head now to watch the 3 races, and I will be back shortly after those. But for now, take care, everybody.
And that off, and the Tattersalls Ireland 50 Derby Sale Novice Hurdle, Grade 1, fielding 10 runners. It's over 2 miles and 7 flights. First things first, the hurdle in the straight omitted due to the sun factor. The early leader is Boher Road, followed by Ballyburn, the red cap, and then Slade Steel disputing third with Facile Mode. They're tracked by Fat and Glory, Daddy Longlegs on the inside of Gold Dancer, and then Absurd, Jit Langley, and at the rear of the field, King of Kingsfield in a distinguishing white cap. It's Boher Road, the leader, by less than 3 lengths, heading towards the first of 7, tracked by Ballyburn, who made short work of his rivals with a 25-length romp in a maiden hurdle here last time. Disputing the third, Fat and Glory, who's improved on the outside of Slade Steel, and then Facile Mode and Daddy Longlegs next, with on the outside Gold Dancer, and then Absurd, Jit Langley, and the back marker is King of Kingsfield. On they go towards the second flight, and it's Boher Road and Dunamiler by a couple of lengths to Ballyburn. Over in second place, Paul Townend. Slight mistake, Daddy Longlegs. Paul Townend fine. After his fall from Gaelic Warriors, they make the bend towards the 10 furlong point. Just third is Slade Steel and Rachel Blackmore. Alongside is Fat and Glory and Jack Kennedy, and then Facile Mode and Daddy Longlegs next, with the final 4, Gold Dancer, Absurd, Jit Langley, and King of Kingsfield. Turning into the back straight to the first of 4. Their next flight will be number 3, and it's Boher Road with a reduced advantage of little over a length from Ballyburn in second. Little between Fat and Glory and Slade Steel for the third place, 2 lengths to Facile Mode, and then comes Gold Dancer and Daddy Longlegs. Absurd is 2 behind King of Kingsfield and Jit Langley. Into the wings of flight number 3, Boher Road from Ballyburn, who jumped up on terms. Going between them is Slade Steel. 3 parts of length back to the 4th running Fat and Glory, who's unlucky not to be a 2-time Grade 1 winner. And then Facile Mode and Daddy Longlegs next. On the outside, Gold Dancer, and then Absurd, King of Kingsfield and Jit Langley. Boher Road has sacrificed the lead to both Ballyburn and Slade Steel as they've gone by the halfway stage, jumping the next in the back straight. And they're wide across the flight from the inside out, Ballyburn, Slade Steel and Boher Road with the noseband, followed by Fat and Glory, and then Daddy Longlegs. Gold Dancer next with Facile Mode as they head to the flight, the end of the back straight, which is now the second last. And rising together, Ballyburn and Slade Steel. From Boher Road, Fat and Glory, right on their heels, then Daddy Longlegs, who's improved on the inside of Gold Dancer, and then Facile Mode, who falls away. King of Kingsfield, Jit Langley, and Absurd as they tighten up, heading off the back straight towards the final flight. In the Tattersalls Ireland 50th Derby Sale Novice Hurdle Grade 1, and it's Ballyburn going on by 3 parts to Slade Steel. In third place, Os for More Fat and Glory nudged along. Then Daddy Longlegs on the inside, followed by King of Kingsfield, who's picked up ground. And between horses is Gold Dancer and then Absurd and Jitlangi. Falling away both Facile Mode and Boher Road. Facile Mode hit that hard. It's all on the level for home, and it's Ballyburn and Paul Townend by a length to Slade Steel. Rachel Blackmore up into third place is King of Kingsfield and Sam Ewing, and then Absurd, who's running on ahead of Daddy Longlegs, but into the straight, heading to the final 2 furlongs, and it is Ballyburn opening up from Slade Steel, and then Absurd, who's running on into the frame, followed then by King of Kingsfield, Jitlangi and Daddy Longlegs, but it is Ballyburn coming around the omitted final flight with a widening advantage over Slade Steel. And then Absurd behind them is King of Kingsfield, but it's Ballyburn backing up Christmas in the Grade 1 Novice in some style. It's another big one at the Dublin Racing Festival for Willie Mullins. Ballyburn the winner, clear from Slade Steel. King of Kingsfield next. Up go the flags. They're off over 2-5 in the O'Driscoll's Irish Whiskey Leopardstown Handicap Chase. 14 fences to jump. And quite a short run to their first. This classic getaway landing was Chavez, gone there. Watchhouse Cross brings down Meeting of the Waters as they go on away from the first fence. Also losing Birchdale. Chavez presses ahead by 2.5 lengths, and followed by Lucid Dreams on the inside of Topville Ben, the English runner in last year's third, as they come on to the fence before the straight, which is number 3. Chavez by a couple of lengths to Topville Ben. Classic Getaway, Drum Bears Improved, and Lucid Dreams and Rianne. As they jump this one. Albata is next. A slow jump by Fat Attack in the blue cap. Not far off the leaders is Heartwood, and on the inside James de Burley. Note a change of rider, Daryl Jacob. Falls in for Paul Townend as they swing into the 4th fence in the straight. The field preceded by one of the loose horses. It's Chavez and the checks with the edge from Topville Ben, Lucid Dreams and Drum Bear, followed by Rianne and Heartwood and Classic Getaway. Albata is next, and away to the inside is James de Burley as they jump the fence. That'll be the last one next time. A bad mistake by Classic Getaway. Somehow managed to stay in the race. That was a serious mistake as Chavez leads Topville Ben, Drum Bear, Lucid Dreams, Heartwood and James de Burley together, and then Rianne and Albata is next, being followed by Percival de Galwan, Classic Getaway and Fat Attack next. After them is Cool Survivor with Adamantly Chosen and the top weight Fakir de Derry. Percy Warner, I Know the Way You're Thinking, and then Indiana Jones. And Hollow Games well back with Good Time Johnny, the great Vanier, Bustleton, another one towards the back is Embittered. 10 fences left to jump as they go to the first of 2 past the stands, and the leader is Chavez. Followed by Topville Ben, nice and handy in second, and then Drum Bear, Lucid Dreams next, and then Rianne and Heartwood and James de Burley. Out wide is Albata, and then Percival de Galwa as they go on away from that one. That was fence number 6 as they head for the halfway stage, and the leader is Chavez, but only just to Topville Ben, who's now racing on terms. Then Drum Bear, Albata next with Rianne, James de Burley and Heartwood, followed by Lucid Dreams and Percival de Galwa picking up ground on Classic Getaway. Fat Attack and Adamantly Chosen and Percy Warner next, followed by Cool Survivor, and then Indiana Jones and Fakir de Derry and Good Time Johnny, I Know the Way You're Thinking. Embittered and Hollow Games Vanier 2 lengths to Bustleton as they race towards the next fence, which will be a little over a mile from the finish. Being pulled up is Classic Getaway. In the lead is Chavez, going back to clear from Topville Ben, and then Drum Bear, Albata's Improved, then Rianne and Heartwood next with James de Burley. Good jump by Percival de Galwa takes it closer, and then Percy Warner, who's followed by Indiana Jones. Lucid Dreams has been shuffled back to mid-division as they go to their next ditch, which is 7.5 furlongs from home, and it's Chavez up and over by 2 lengths to Topville Ben. Rianne is taking closer order on the inside in the green and white, and then Albata and Drum Bear is next. Then James de Burley and Hartwood as they jump the fence at the point at which they started. Gone at that is Drumbere, and hampered some uncomers up quickly in the Shane O'Callaghan. Last on the far side will be 4 from the finish, and they're getting spaced out. Chavez over that by 3 to Rian in second, and then Topville Ben, who's dropped a spot to third. Right on their heels both James de Burley and Hartwood, and then Albera. Percival de Gallois next, and followed further back in the field by Cool Survivor. 3 fences left to jump as they approach the final ditch, and Chavez now by 4. Together second and third, Rian and Topville Ben, then James de Burley and Hartwood next. Racing on to the heels of the leaders is Percival de Gallois, pushed and shoved along Cool Survivor, and then Albera and Percy Warner and Indiana Jones and Good Time Johnny. Followed then by Fakir Duderi, adamantly chosen, I know the way you're thinking, and then Lucid Dreams, being followed round the home turn by a blundering Fad Attack, and then Embittered. But it's Chavez continuing out in front, with Hartwood picking up the chase on the outside of Rian as they straighten with 1 fence left in the O'Driscoll's Irish Whiskey Leopardstown Handicap Chase. And it is Chavez now being asked for more. Hartwood is coming there in between horses. On the far side is Rian. Here on the stand side is Percival de Gallois, and then James de Burley. The final fence, it's Hartwood, and down, 2 down, Percival de Gallois and Chavez, and left nicely clear of the field is Hartwood, and Rachel Blackmore are coming clear from Rian. James de Burley is next, and up to the finish. If any horse deserves its flowers, it's Hartwood, who has won by a widening margin from Rian second, James de Burley third, 4th goes to Cool Survivor, and then Good Time Johnny. Walking away fine is Cornerstone Walsh, the rider of Percival de Gallois, as Chavez's jockey's being attended to by the paramedics.
Steadily forward, and they're off. For the Virgin Bet Daily Extra Places novices hurdle, Glen Golly away to the left, one of the first to begin. Grand Sabre a little keen in the white cap. In between those 2, the Good Doctor. On the right is the White Blaze No More Bolero. Peking Opera is over on the far rail, the white with the red stripe, followed by Blue Universe, and J. Troller Class is the back marker. At flight number 1, Glen Golly is going to pick up just in front of the Good Doctor and Grand Sabre. Peking Opera on the inside under restraint, getting some cover in the hands of Noah Houlihan as they head on towards the flight in front of the stands. Fairly short run in, less than a furlong today. Glen Golly, Peking Opera jumping well there from the Good Doctor, Grand Sabre, Blue Universe, No More Bolero, and J. Troller Class. Very handy horse, J. Troller Class, a little warm before the race and just held up at the back of the field. Heading up now towards a right-hand turn, and it's Glen Golly leading the way by a bit more than a length to the Good Doctor under his big penalty in second. Peking Opera on the inside, and then Grand Sabre out wide into this right-hander, followed then by Blue Universe, No More Bolero, bit of late money for him in the hands of Caelan Quinn, and last of all J. Troller Class. Still some ways off the first flight in the back straight. 4 flights to take down the back in this 2-miler. Glen Golly, a length and a half to Peking Opera, getting a nice toe through at the moment. Has jumped the first 2 flights okay. The Good Doctor on the outside, Grand Sabre, then Blue Universe in the pink sleeves, back in 5th place, and they're followed by No More Bolero, and finally J. Troller Class restrained at the back of the field. Over the next, Glen Golly in too tight and almost joined on landing by the Good Doctor. Glen Golly reasserts, going to the next, with Peking Opera on the inside. Over that one, No More Bolero a little untidy, continuing on towards the next. Glen Golly by about 3.5, 4 lengths to Peking Opera and the Good Doctor. They're followed by Blue Universe, Grand Sabre, J. Troller Class, still held up together with No More Bolero at the rear of the field, but reasonably well grouped together as they cross the chase course now and head on towards the 3rd last flight of hurdles, the last in the back straight. Glen Golly coming in to take it, has led all the way so far. Over, Peking Opera on the inside, the Good Doctor prominent out wide, blue cap, pink sleeves, Blue Universe, Then Grand Sabre, no move still from J. Troller class in the hands of James Bowen, and No More Bolero, just the back marker. Swinging right-handed out of the back straight, and Glen Golly still towing them along. A little hard to steer around that turn by the look of things. Glen Golly in the hands of Gavin Sheehan has come off the rail, and Peking Opera sneaks around the inside of the leader, travelling well, but they're all well in touch here, all grouped together by about 3 or 4 lengths would cover the whole field as they enter the home straight, the really stiff, unforgiving home straight here. And Peking Opera on the far side from Blue Universe, No More Bolero. J. Troller Class is being smuggled into the race on the far side in the blue cap. Out wide, the Good Doctor from Glen Golly, and Grand Sabre is the one that's dropped away. Peking Opera just about the leader, the Good Doctor challenging these two from Blue Universe as they arrive at the second last. Peking Opera, the Good Doctor in the air together. The Good Doctor running on very gamely here. Peking Opera now being shaken up. Then Blue Universe and Glen Golly. They race up the hill towards the final flight. These two locked together. Peking Opera on the far side. The one with the experience, the Good Doctor on the near side, but giving plenty of weight. Better jump from the Good Doctor. The Good Doctor near side of Peking Opera, racing up the hill. Peking Opera finding a little more now on the far side, getting the weight from the Good Doctor and racing to the line. It's a winning hurdles debut for Peking Opera. The Good Doctor ran a fine race in second. Blue Universe back in third, and Glen Golly fourth.
Hello everybody, and welcome back. 3 very interesting races there. I'm sure you will agree. We'll touch on them now, and then we'll have a wrap up of some other sad things that happened. We'll take a look at the first race, the 140 at Leopardstown at the Dublin Racing Festival. The Group 1 Novice Hurdle. Ballyburn running to a best mark of the season, really, of 158 in a comfortable 7-length graded victory in what was his first race at Grade 1 level. I mean, this horse is improving nicely over hurdles. 132 on his debut, 145 when he was winning his maiden, and now 158 when he was winning his Group 1. I mean, this horse seems certain to play a key part in the novice hurdles at the Cheltenham Festival at this stage, and it will be interesting to see what the horse does moving forward as well as that. Another horse I'm going to took a look on there in the videos was our old mate, James de Burley. James de Burley was quite a frustrating horse last year, but I do feel that even though he has been running in handicaps recently, he's been running quite well. You see his form is quite consistent. You know, he's around the 140 mark, above that now, really, 147 around Christmas, and 142 in the race that people just saw there. But when people look at some of his runs from last season, they will still find that he's run to 155 and 150 last year, and 158 at his best over hurdles. And this horse is only 8 years old. I don't think the horse is really losing its form at this stage. It will be interesting to see if what connections can do with him. People look at his mark. He's sneaking up the weights, though. That's the only trouble. Rated 149 now. And it's the handicapper could have him. The horse will need to improve. But the horse, like I said, is only 8 years old. And I think there is every chance that he could improve. We've got to touch on a rather disappointing result now from the Dublin Festival race. I've decided not to show you, not really because I've just seen, I've shown you one of our horses get beat there. You know, this race here was just a 2-runner novice chase, the Grade 1, on the Sunday of the Dublin Racing Festival, and it was resulted in a first chase defeat for our Gaelic Warrior, who sadly looked unbeaten, who was unbeaten before taking on the brutal second favourite owned by Ireland's biggest gambler. You'll see this 2-runner race, both trainers, both horses owned by the same man, and this day it was a comfortable winner for Factor File over our Gaelic Warrior in the novice chase. You'll see there, though, the Gaelic Warrior, another one, only 6 years old, and people will have to say that is probably his first iffy run since he came to Ireland for his first run in March 2022. Since then, he's only lost one race at the 2023 Cheltenham Festival to Impere Pa, and has won six, two chases and four hurdles. You'll see there that was a good stone or something below his best chase form of 160, which he gained when winning his Grade 1 at Limerick, the Forheen Novices Chase. And you'll see there that hopefully the horse will be able to bounce back, although he does look as though he has a bit of a problem. He's not the same horse going round one way as he is the next. That could be fairly clear now. You know, it's just depending what Connections decide to do with the horse. People will see. His entries, he's still well entered up, although his prices have obviously drifted out a bit after that defeat at Dublin Racing Festival. We'll just check Ballyburn to see what we know about him. Obviously, his entries at the Supreme Novices Hurdle and the Bear in Bingham, where he's looking like a very short price for both of those races. And the other horse we've looked at this stage, James de Burley, is actually entered in the Grand National at Aintree in the 13th of April. Let's see if they can turn up there. Another horse we took a look up there is a Classic Watch 2024 contender from one of my other side projects on the flat. Peking Opera, trained by Aidan O'Brien on the flat. He's fourth in the Group 1 Irish Derby last July. He also won the listed race. He won the listed Yates Stakes in May 2023. And you'll see there that he managed to win his novice hurdle debut at Sandown. He has since gone to Gary Moore, owned by the same people that actually owned Goshen for the yard. Goshen was quite unlucky in the Triumph Hurdle, it's fair to say. And this horse won well, but they only rated the race. Racing Post rated the race 102. We've seen novice juvenile hurdlers go round in the early 120s that we've got, horses like Salva and the other one, Caliph de Burley. So I think there's a fair way. I think if Peking Opera was to turn up at the Triumph Hurdle on this form, I think there might be plenty to find. But I've decided, because he was a Classic Watch, Classic placed horse, Classic fourth listed winner on the flat, I've decided to include him to our team of juvenile hurdlers moving forward. How long he will be a member of the team rather depends on him. People will see he's entered for the Triumph Hurdle in March, for which he is a best price of 33 to 1 at the moment. Right, before we end this podcast, some very, very sad news, which is why I've decided to leave the best till last, really. Some very sad news to report. We have to report the death of one of our horses, Absolute Notions. The Rabcore-owned horse, trained by Gordon Elliott, sadly lost his life in a Pertemps Novice Hurdle on the 4th of February at Musselburgh. Connections have had a light campaign. He won that three-runner race in November 2023. Clearly being aimed at the Pertemps Handicap Hurdle at the Cheltenham Festival. Connections tried to qualify last week, but he needed to finish in the first four in that race. Sadly, it went wrong in the worst possible way for Connections of the horse. A beautifully bred horse, Absolute Notions. I don't think we saw the best of him. You'll see there last season he was Grade 1 and Grade 2 place novice hurdler, running to a mark of 142. Like I said, they rather messed about a bit this season, I think, with the horse. Hopefully, they were trying to strengthen him up ahead of a possible novice chase campaign next season. Sadly, no, that's not going to happen. You know, it's hard to be. People have seen the photos with Gordon Elliott. You know, people can only imagine how happy he is that this horse has died. Having seen those photos, me, however, I'm disappointed, very sad for the breeders and the owners of the horse, because I don't think there's any way that people saw the best of this horse. Absolute Notions. Very sad to see a horse lose his life, and don't know what else to say, really. Very sad that Absolute Notions decided, that the racing gods decided that Absolute Notions time was up at Musselburgh last weekend. Very sad indeed. Bred by Brian and Mrs. Bronner Lawler. Owned by Rabcore, previously owned by M. Canaan. It's hard to be sympathetic for the trainer. Under any circumstances, people have seen how he treats his horses. But this is a very nice horse, I thought, and it's sad that we haven't seen the best of it on the course. Disappointing to really have to end on a sad note, but sometimes it is rather inevitable in this great sport that we follow. Horses sacrifice so much doing what they love doing to entertain, and sadly, Absolute Notions is no longer with us moving forward. But we've seen some other horses through the channel, and other horses identified that we have got some very nice horses moving forward. It's always sad to lose one under these circumstances, though. Rest in peace, Absolute Notions, and I'm going to end the video here. What I will do is I will give everybody an opportunity to subscribe to the channel who have watched this video and have chosen not to subscribe to the channel at this point. And I will also give everybody a chance to look at the playlist containing all the reviews of the National Hunt Racing that we've done since I started covering it on the YouTube channel back, I think, around the Dublin Racing Festival last year of 2022. We're about 29 days away now till the Cheltenham Festival. Obviously, we will probably have horses running over the next month or so. So if any more reviews will need to be done, they will be done in the usual fashion. But for now, I will say goodbye, everybody. Take care to you all. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Thank you for watching and supporting the video and the channel. And take care.